Intro music.
Come on in.
A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3,000.
They have acquired Eric Johnson and Fernando Tatis Jr. from the White Sox in exchange for James Shield.
Welcome to Slam Diego. My name is Joey.
My name is James.
And this is the Brothers Padre.
And in this episode, I think we might just want to call it the best episode.
I don't know if it's the best, but definitely the happiest I've ever been. I've never been a fan of a team that's won the World Series, but now I can say I've been a fan of a team that's won a trade deadline.
Yes. Now, the Padres have won a trade deadline before, but that's just because we got one or two more pieces than everybody else.
Right.
But the Padres won the trade deadline.
James, raise your glass. I made James grab a glass of his favorite mineral water. Toast to AJ Preller. Good job, AJ.
Good job, AJ.
We really did toast to all of our audio listeners.
Yes.
Yeah. Good job. I'm going to take a sip right now. He did good.
Did very good.
He decided that, hey, I would like for the next 3 years at least have 3 potentially future Hall of Famers all hit in a row. That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, we have to recap, James. I got to take our listeners back, James. I want you to think back to the year 2022, the day July 31st.
The last 48 hours. We're going to recap the last 48 hours. I don't know why you want to be all mysterious now.
I'm trying to be a PBS announcer. I think that I missed my calling.
A thought for your thoughts.
48 hours ago, the San Diego Padres got our trade deadline started with an acquisition of whom?
Josh Hader.
Considered the best reliever of the past 3 years. He's had a little rough patch the past month. Preller swooped in, bought low, and we got him. No one talked about it, really. It was Preller's been wanting him for a while. Listen to our podcast about it. We have a whole podcast about it. Soon after, the Joe Musgrove extension was announced. Super cool. Very happy for Joe to be around for a while. We also have podcasts about that. Go ahead and listen to that.
Go ahead and listen to that, yeah.
And then, James, August 2nd rolled around. Is this the most, heralded? Is this going to be like a holy day?
What's one step below holy?
I don't know. Highly venerated.
I mean, at the very least, mail shouldn't be delivered, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a county holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
People aren't supposed to work today.
No. Not
From here henceforth, San Diego County is going to have a We Got Juan Soto Day.
Yes, exactly.
Traded for Juan Soto and Josh Bell. We had a podcast about this, but we didn't have all the details about it. So here I'm going to tell you all the details. We traded the prospects, Mackenzie Gore, CJ Abrams, Robert Hassel III, James Woods, Harlan Susanna, and at the time, we believed Eric Hosmer was also going into the deal. We didn't realize at the time of recording that, I think we did mention this, that he has a no-trade clause. Eric Hosmer does. Eric Hosmer decided to exercise his no-trade clause, saying, I don't want to become a Washington National.
Can't really blame him.
Yeah, I get it. I understand that. But
Don't forget, the Padres played in Washington last year and got shot at.
Right. That's true. Fond memories. So because of that, the Padres had to make up the rest of the deal. And we found out a few hours ago, Luke Voit heading over to the Washington Nationals as part of the trade. And honestly, that hurt more than Gore, Woods, Hassel, and Abrams.
Because
and I love all those guys.
I love them all, and they all have great potential, but Voit was the proven big leaguer.
Yeah. And I feel bad for the guy because he came up big spots for us. He had, for a long time, was our only power guy after Machado. But, it's the deal you make. You still make the deal.
Yeah, especially since both players we got have more home runs, higher batting average, and more RBIs than Voit does.
Yep. And speaking of more home runs, Padres made another trade. Another mystery, no preamble, no rumors whatsoever. Padres traded breakout star Brandon Drury, having a great year this year. He has a 274 batting average, 59 RBIs, 20 home runs, which would make him most on the team if he was a Padre. Trade him for him. He's an infielder, plays third base, second base, and has played all outfield positions. And we trade him for a second base and shortstop prospect, Victor Acostas. And it was very surprising.
Yeah, this was out of nowhere, and nobody even knew this guy was even on the market. And again, he's having a career year. It's his contract year, so he's definitely a rental. He plays several infield positions, and he plays all the outfield positions. Not the best, but he's all right. But basically what the Padres did was, we said before the trade deadline even started, the Padres just can't go get a Juan Soto. We need at least 2 or 3 bats. And the Padres, I mean, it's obvious they listen to our podcast, right? I'm embarrassed that we don't have a radio contract at this point.
I think at this point, like it's like lawsuit territory at this point. Like we might have to lawyer up at this point.
Well, at the very least, we should record at Petco Park.
Right. We should have a suite that we just record in.
Yeah,
right?
and free season tickets.
That's a given at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm offended. I'll be honest. So.
But the Padres weren't done, Joe, right?
What else happened, Jamesy?
We got a guy named Cam Gallagher. And
I should have put this bit before Brendan Drury, but I thought it'd be funny to do this at the end.
And in case you don't know who Cam Gallagher is, that's all right. We don't either. But we traded Brent Rooker for him. He's a backup catcher. He's a good defensive catcher, and the catcher situation for next year especially is going to be a little up in the air, and you can't have too many good guys behind the plate.
Okay.
Guys, what was that all about? I can't. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a weird day, and I think I've forgotten how to speak.
It's okay. It has been. I'll be honest, James. I didn't think it would get here. As I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for watching 20 years of wretched baseball. And then finally you're going to have to bleep this. Someone will give it. Because AJ Preller really does give it.
He really does.
And that's cool. That's very cool. And I texted you on Saturday that if I don't get anyone, I'm going to turn to the Joker. I was going to go crazy. And I think I'm going to delete Twitter off my phone for the next week. Because I was on Twitter so much waiting for all these deals. This morning, James and I called multiple times to say, do we actually have Soto? Is this like Max Scherzer? And because none of us believe, and you still don't believe it.
I have tickets for tomorrow night's the first game Soto plays, and I am only 90% certain that I am not in a fever dream right now. Like, I am not entirely sure. I mean, at this point, I don't know what kind of mushrooms were on my burger yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be tripping. Because this is so just utterly. I've been a Padre fan since I was 6 years old. That's over 30 years now, and I can't. We're gonna rank. Is this? We're going to talk about the best trades of all time. This is definitely one of the best Padre trades of all time.
Oh, yeah.
And none of these guys have even taken the field yet.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just thankful. But expectations are great now.
So, famously, the beginning of 2021, we thought was the greatest 48 hours in Padre history, where we traded for Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, and we signed Ha-Seong Kim.
Yep.
This 48 hours, we traded for Hader, extended Joe Musgrove, got Josh Bell, Juan Soto, and some guy named Gallagher. I think this is a better 48 hours.
I think so as well.
Especially since we still have all those other guys from the previous 48 hours.
Right. It is, Jeff Passan says, this is why you develop well, this is why you trade well. This is why you sign well, because you can do deals like this, and it's very cool.
And people have pointed out, if we would have gotten Scherzer last year, we would not have had the people to get Soto this year.
Yeah,
But that's hindsight being 2020.
right.
The Scherzer thing still hurts. It just hurts a lot less now.
Yeah. So, we have lots more. I'm going to raise a glass also to our fallen comrades. One Mackenzie Gore, one C.J. Abrams, one Luke Voit. And also, see you later, Hosmer. Cheers. Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot less of Hosmer hate on this podcast. Do we have an identity at this point going forward? What do we have? What do we talk about if we get complain about Hosmer now?
So, yes, we forgot to mention the last trade. Because Eric Hosmer refused the Nationals trade.
Yeah.
And basically the trade was, we'll give you all of his contract. Just take him. They said no, but the Red Sox, who have had the worst defensive first base, all their first basemen, they have the worst defensive first base in all the league, and the least production offensively in all the league at first base. They were desperate, and we gave them Hosmer for free. And I listened to Red Sox radio clips online today, and they're super excited about it. And I'm super excited for them. But the Padres now have Will Myers, Josh Bell, Jay Cronenworth. They can all play first base.
Yep. We'll be fine.
So I do have one
Uh-oh.
challenge for you, Joey.
Uh-oh.
And yes, you and I have talked a lot of things about Eric Hosmer. Mm-hmm. Can you say any positive things he did for the Padres? I think I can.
Oh, I can too.
What's the most thankful thing about Eric Hosmer other than being traded? You have to be legit thankful he's a Padre.
The fourth game we played against Texas Rangers in 2020. He was the final slam in Slam Diego.
That is true.
Without him, we don't have Slam Diego.
I would say one thing about Eric Hosmer, and I'll be grateful for Eric Hosmer for this. Yes, we signed him to an exuberant contract.
Right.
But that proved to the rest of the league and the rest of the big league ball players, the Padres were serious about signing talent. Mm-hmm. And they're serious about building a clubhouse. I think if we don't get sign Hosmer, Machado doesn't sign with us. And that got the ball rolling for a bunch of big signs, and we wouldn't be here without Hosmer's at least leadership and the willingness the Padres were to pay somebody like that.
Well, you're probably right, but I'll be honest. I'm a little happy he's gone.
Oh no, because you and I were both pretty much resigned the fact that he was going to be a Padre forever.
Oh yeah. I was ready for it. I was ready to see him ground out to second 7 times in the playoffs. I was prepared for it actually. Now I don't have to prepare for that, and I'm very thankful for that.
Well, like I said, Hosmer's gone. We will probably find something else to complain about.
Oh yeah, we're sports fans. Of course, we're finding something to complain about.
Exactly. But anyway, so
we can't be happy more than a day. What are you talking about?
So I say, you know what, Joey, we should toast Eric Hosmer.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Eric Hosmer,
yeah,
for all you've done. The ground balls that you never attempted to hit in the air, the pop-ups you failed to hit, but also your leadership qualities that everyone in the clubhouse seems to enjoy.
Everyone around the league loves you. You're a good guy in the ball club. And someday you'll make a great bench coach.
Cheers. Oh, good job. Good job.
Yep.
James, there's a lot of trades that happened.
There were a lot of trades that happened. I mean, we don't need to go through all of them, even though you, for some reason, listed them.
I was looking at all the interesting ones. There's a lot more than this. I think the biggest trades outside the ones that we have, Luis Castillo to the Mariners.
Yes.
It's a huge trade. 1.5 year control to the Mariners. Mariners want to win now. I think you and I talked about it. I think it's a great trade.
I think that was a phenomenal trade for the Mariners. They needed starting pitching.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Number 2, of course, was Joey Gallo going to the Dodgers. Obviously a big deal. Yeah, you know how much podcast listeners know how much I like Joey Gallo. And
no, podcast listeners know how much you like to torture me with the idea of Joey Gallo being a Padre.
yeah. But he's a Padre. And that's that. It's just he's a Dodger rather, and I wish him all the best. Hopefully it works pretty out.
There were a lot of interesting trades that happened. I mean, Andrew Benintendi went to the Yankees. The Twins got a closer from the Orioles.
Yep. David Peralta went to the Rays.
Yeah, that makes the Diamondbacks way more easier to beat.
Yep. Old friend Tommy Pham, Red Sox,
is going to be reunited with Eric Hosmer. Not the reunition. I mean, I think baseball and, in fact, the world would have preferred if him and Jock Peterson run the team together.
That would have been too beautiful.
Yeah. Whit Mayfield, a decent outfielder, went to the Blue Jays. Harrison Bader went to the Yankees.
Noah Syndergaard to the Phillies.
That's the one that makes no sense to me. I know the Phillies.
They also got a center fielder that can catch an occasional fly ball.
But Noah Syndergaard's thrown 2 innings this year.
He's thrown more than 2.
They literally
weren't great innings, but he's thrown
the Angels just signed Noah Syndergaard for a 1-year deal for what, like $30 million? It was a crazy money situation. And obviously they need to shed their payroll to sign a bunch of people during the offseason. And the Phillies are so desperate for pitching, they signed Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard hasn't been a good pitcher since 2017. The fact that Noah Syndergaard got such a large contract, and the fact that they traded him for a team, there are some GMs that I absolutely don't know if they know that they're baseball teams. I even know what they're doing. I think it's safe to say that the 3
losers, you say.
I mean, not dumbest GMs in the market.
Okay.
The Phillies, the Angels, and the Rockies.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. And
the Angels were believed to trade they were thinking they might trade Ohtani. Did not happen. So they got rid of Brandon Marsh, their closer, Jose Iglesias, and Noah Syndergaard, which is going to make Angels games even more exciting to watch.
Yeah. Brandon Marsh, I don't understand. They want to keep their big ticket guys. Literally, they sell tickets. Right. But let's just make the team worse around them. Shohei Ohtani might just quit.
He might just go back to Japan's league. You know what? Screw it.
He might go back to Japan for a year and then come back to the big leagues. It's so bizarre. The
Phillies are trying to do something.
True. I just don't know what they're trying to do.
They got Noah Syndergaard. They got David Robertson. They got Brendan Marsh. More than the Rockies did.
The Rockies who did nothing? Yes, that is
more
true.
than the Giants did even.
Yeah. So, all in all, it was an interesting trade deadline. Also, I just think the rest of the league was playing catch-up for the Padres.
Well, it was believed that the Soto deal held so many things. The Soto and Castillo deal really tested the market, which is like, you want someone great, you're going to have to pay a lot. Because Castillo got the Reds got, also in all of it, the Reds got 12 great prospects in all of these deals. So they really did redo their whole farm system, which is what you're supposed to, if you're tanking, that's what you're supposed to do. But the Castillo deal was like, here's 3 great prospects for the best pitcher in the market. Soto deal, here's 5 great prospects and a major leaguer, right? And that really upset everything. And the Yankees didn't, big teams didn't really.
Wait. Did you?
Sorry.
No, how many prospects did the Reds get?
The Reds have gotten 12 good prospects across their deals they made with Pham, Tyler Mahle, Luis Castillo, and
I forgot they traded the Malley guy.
Yeah. So Tyler Malley is now a Twin. The Twins also got much better in this trade deadline.
I'm glad we faced them
Yes.
now than a week ago than we did
Yeah.
now. Although they're coming to San Diego in a couple weeks.
Are we going? No, the Twins already came here.
We're going over there. That's
Yeah.
right.
I was
We
there.
played
in attendance.
Detroit in Detroit.
Yeah.
I had to remember which nonsense Midwestern town we were in.
That we're inevitably going to be rained out with.
Yes, because build a roof. Anyways,
James, who were the losers this deadline? Who were the losers? Who was the worst? Who made out the worst in this? We've already established the Padres won this deadline, so I don't really feel like giving out awards a second. But I'm interested in the losers. Who were the big?
well, I
losers?
could say the most puzzling ones.
Right.
And the ones that, like, for instance, Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ.
Yeah.
Everybody predicted they were going to go. They did not leave. So what were the Cardinals thinking? I mean, the Cubs, because the Cardinals were thinking about getting those guys. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they were asking just way too high prices for him.
Maybe they want to extend them. They're both good baseball players.
And as we've established, the Cubs owners have a lot of money. They just refuse to pay for it, their team. So that was a bit surprising. Those two guys stayed put. Also, the other teams that just don't make any sense to me is the Giants. Like, why did they not trade
Anybody? They traded Darren Ruff and Kurt Casale, to which everyone says, why would they trade them? Great question.
Because they're a 500 team. They're not making it to the playoffs this year. Most of their players are past the age of too old to be good. They're old enough to be decent, but they're not going to be a great young team. And also, Jock Peterson and Carlos Rendon were 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
They're perfect for being traded. They could have gotten a lot. The Yankees would have given them a bunch for Rendon.
Rodon is a better pitcher than Frankie Montas, what they got by a significant margin.
Yes. But yeah. And Jock Peterson, he's
The Braves would love to have him back.
yeah. I don't understand. The Giants blow me away. Also, obviously the Pirates have a lot more faith in their prospects than anybody else is giving them credit for, because they didn't trade a lot of pieces either. Everyone thought Brian Reynolds was going away, but he stayed put. So those were the ones that I thought were the most baffling. But as far as the biggest losers, I mean, it's obviously the Dodgers getting Joey Gallo, right?
Right. Oh, totally. I mean, dude like strikes out 90% of the time.
Yeah.
What kind of bozos are the Dodgers here? Total bozos.
Total bozo.
You know what I hate, though, among all of this is that the teams that didn't do a lot annoy me because, so the Yankees didn't. I don't think the Yankees did enough. I think they got Frankie Montas, who's fine, and Ben Tendi, who's fine.
They got Hayes and the Bader kid.
Which that was a weird trade. They traded their Indian eater Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader. Kind of like a whatever trade to me. I think an Indian eater is way better than a above average fielder. What do I know though? I'm not a GM. I don't think that was enough because the Astros, they just got Trey Mancini, and they're just sitting pretty. Astros are just going to be great, which is very annoying to me. Dislike that. And because they didn't do a lot. They didn't go out and splash like I thought. I really thought they were going to. I thought they were going to get Luis Castillo, like they got Greinke a few years ago. And so that annoys me because just like, they're just totally fine with where they're at. And they got better with Trey Mancini. They just did. And that's annoying to me. They're not a big loser. I just want to gripe about that for a second. Other losers, though, Colorado Rockies. What are you guys doing? There are 30 teams in this great game of baseball in the major leagues of the United States of America and also in Canada. 29 of them made trades to either make their teams better via selling or buying. The Rockies made 0 trades because they are 24 games behind the Dodgers? Because they're 15 games behind the Padres? What are you doing, Rockies?
Yeah, and also, like, remember I mentioned stupid GMs?
Yeah.
He's by far the stupidest. Like, the Rockies organization is just so beyond lost. like I can't imagine being a Rockies fan.
It must be annoying beyond belief. Because you know they have to sell. They
Or at the very least, try to. I mean, do they not have any prospects? Try to make their team slightly better during the trade deadline, and tell them the great quote that.
I'll find the quote exactly. Effectively, the quote is, I'm paraphrasing here.
This is from the Rockies GM.
The Rockies beat reporter asked him, "Hey, what's kind of like, why didn't you guys do any trades?" He's like, I think it's funny because we were the only team that extended someone during this trade deadline. To which the beat writer was like, first off, that's not true. Like, there's been multiple extensions. And second off, it didn't make any sense. Because, like, that's how you answer why you didn't know trades, was like a loyalty response. Like, well, we're loyal to our 37-year-old reliever. So you didn't extend, I don't know, Charlie Blackmon again. You didn't extend, Ryan McMahon. You extended.
You couldn't have extended Trevor's Story over the last.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't have kept Nolan Arenado. It's super befuddling to me that they did nothing to make their team better.
Especially since CJ Crone was on top of a bunch of people's get list.
Oh, yeah.
His phone rang.
Daniel Bard should have, the guy they extended, they should not have kept. You cannot tell me that Rockies team is contending next year for a World Series. You just can't. I'm sorry.
I can't tell you the Rockies are even contending next year.
Right. You can't tell me, like, and so they should have traded him. They should have done something, but instead they extended a 37-year-old reliever, and that was it. So keep
Just
being
weird.
you, Rockies.
But you want to know something, Joey?
What?
Juan Soto's a Padre.
That is so wild to me.
Just those words, I still can't explain. They don't make any sense to me. Like, they just. So, the Padres lineup
Yep.
will have. Jerickson Profar is hitting a ton right now. He'll probably be leading off. When Tatis is healthy, we're going to have probably Tatis hitting second. Soto, Machado, Bell, and after that, maybe Cronenworth it's just
Good problem to have.
a good problem to have when our all-star second baseman's batting 7th.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. He was, they'll be making a premiere tomorrow, them being Josh Bell and Juan Soto. There'll be a press conference tomorrow at 1, and you'll be in attendance for their first game. How exciting is that, James?
I still can't. Like I said, I'm not gonna believe it's true until I hear not batting for the Padres.
Oh, yeah.
Until I see him out there in the brown and gold, I don't think I can't. I just can't. And like we said, this. As far as the 3 best trades, and this is easily the top 3 best trades of Padre history.
Yep.
It's not the greatest trade in Padre history because Juan Soto hasn't even swung a bat yet.
Yep.
And you and I both agree the greatest trade in Padre history is Gary Sheffield for Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah. I would say the greatest trades are that one, Juan Soto for Josh Bell versus Prospect, and then James Shields
For Tatis Jr.
for Tatis
yes.
Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And all 3 of those are incredible. All 3 of them could eventually be for Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thought. Yeah.
I know. I just, it's so. You and I, we joked, and
We've been known to rib each other once or twice.
yeah.
Yes.
And hypotheticals are all what makes
yeah.
sports great. We talked about how cool it would be to get Juan Soto. Did you actually believe it?
Oh no, I thought the Dodgers were going to get him.
Yeah, me too.
I thought until I saw Jeff Passan tweet, I just thought, okay, while we're talking about it, Jim Bowden, I'm calling you out. If you ever tweet that a deal's at the half-yard line, I'm going to punch you in the face. Don't say those kind of things. Like, just say the deal's done or not. You don't get free clout for saying it's close. You get clout to saying when it's done.
Exactly.
That's the ballsy thing to do as a reporter, to say it's done, not it's close. Because literally right before we Passan tweeted, there was like 5 minutes of just like close, 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 close. And you're like, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, you keep refreshing Twitter. Honestly, it was about 2:30, 2:40-ish today, and I probably hit refresh on Twitter 1,000 times.
Yep.
And I could not, and I was watching the Padre game, refreshing Twitter. I said, I can't do this. I turned off my computer, and I just drove for 20 minutes, probably wasted $60 of gas just to listen to the Padre game. And I went back, and then at 3:00, I was like, okay, I could turn Twitter back on because I couldn't handle it.
Right.
And all the updates were like that. Oh, this deal's close. This deal's close. This deal's close. I just, no, I can't. As a society, nobody has ever benefited from looking at Twitter more than once a day.
No, not at all. But boy, did I do more than once today.
Oh my goodness. Like you said, you're probably going to delete Twitter for a week.
Yeah.
There's no reason to look at Twitter for a week.
No. But man, oh man, James, what an exciting trade deadline. It's a good, I think it's one for the books, record books, I think.
We might have to change your intro to put something about Juan Soto in it.
Yeah. That's a good point. What do you think his first, what's going to be the results of his first at bat tomorrow? Let me see who's facing.
I think he's going to draw a walk.
Yeah, it has to be, right? It's Juan Soto. He has to draw a walk. Yeah, he's trying to walk tomorrow. Chad Kuhl. Going to foul off a bunch of
Chad
pitches.
Kuhl is their best starter.
Who else should have been traded, by the way?
Exactly.
Should trade everyone, Rockies.
The fact that Chad Kuhl is not an Astro annoys me.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Astros were looking to get a starter. Or not a Philly. Chad Kuhl, honestly, Chad Kuhl and Joe Musgrove are good friends, and both were in the Pirates organization, and they're the two best. And we should trade for Chad Kuhl, but Rockies, for some reason, they are a perfect team that has no problems whatsoever.
Nope, not at all. What a weird world. But James, Juan Soto sending a Padre. And I'm ready to see him Soto shuffle in the brown and gold. I'm ready to see, that freaky thing Juan Soto does. If you're not familiar with Juan Soto, I'd recommend you watch any of his home runs. But I'd specifically recommend the very first pitch he ever saw at the major leaguer, a 19-year-old. He was facing one Robbie Erland of the San Diego Padres. The first pitch he sees, he has this. His swing is like very mechanical. He swings and he has this opposite field power that's so freaky because it looks like it's going to be a pop-up, but it's just like it's a draw. I mean, you and I have seen this. We've seen him hit home runs like this in person.
Yes,
we saw him. James and I saw him destroy the Padres one game, and it was not fun.
No, it wasn't.
But now it'll be fun as a Padre to see him do other people. But he has this ability to just hit the ball to the opposite field with immense power. The first home run, the first pitch I ever saw, hit a home run off San Diego Padres. How funny would it be the first pitch he sees lands in left field? How cool would that be? Well, you get goosebumps.
Dude,
so
I've thought of this already.
Yeah,
but this is what I thought. What if his first hit's a home run? I'm like, no. Let's be a little humble.
Yeah. Tomorrow's game, the premiere, is sold out. It was already trending because of giveaway night, but it's standing room only. It is.
So I'm going because a friend of mine has an extra ticket. Shout out to Kevin. And he had, and I went to get a parking spot, and I literally watched all the parking structures sell out.
Dude, it's gonna be bananas tomorrow. This city is, for one, it's always been a sports city, but it's never had a great team to root for.
Yeah.
And when it's had a great team to root for, it shows up like no one else. We're selling out because we traded for somebody on a Wednesday. That's pretty incredible.
It's very incredible.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to hang out in the dugout. I'm excited to see him like pump people up. I'm excited. He also played mind games with the pitchers. If you haven't watched a lot of Juan Soto at bats, he's super entertaining.
And
It's
he's
very
the
fun.
exact same age as Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis Jr. and him have been playing baseball since they were 15 together.
Oh, it's going to be, I said in the early episode, it could very well be like Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds. That's the kind of talent they have, and potentially they could be in the same lineup back and forth.
Well, Joey, this episode feels very subdued, but also it also feels like,
It feels very classy. We keep cheering.
yeah. So I think we should do one more toast,
Yeah.
and then our next recap episode we can talk about Soto.
Love it.
Here's to the Padres.
Cheers to Padres. It's good. Thank you so much for listening to us, guys. Until next time.
Go Padres.
And there it is! Oh, doctor! You can hang a star on that